Our next speaker will be Pallavi Aras with AI-powered dynamic zone checker.
Hi, I'm Pallavi Aras Matai. I'm going to talk about AI-based dynamic zone file checker. So I'm going to talk about some of the existing zone file checkers that are out there, static and online zone file checkers. I'll introduce the concept of CheckMate, which is the dynamic AI-based zone file checker that I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to talk about the CheckMate design, model, and we will have a demo followed by key takeaways. So we are familiar with the existing zone file checkers. There are two types, static zone file checker and online tools that check your zone content. But what are all of these zone checkers have in common, right? From our experience, we know that the static zone file checkers, they are mostly used for static analysis of your zone before you load it into your software. They capture any input, they capture any syntax error, format error, that sort of thing, right? The static, whatever you catch in static analysis. Similarly, the online tools are mostly useful to catch an error in your zone or in your domain, which is already propagated, right? The online tools can only catch those errors which are propagated DNS changes. But the problem with these, and this is why I marked that as red, is at the time when you are seeing an issue, maybe it's a DNSSEC signature failure, anything, when you are seeing an issue, your customers are also seeing and experiencing the issue at the same time. So what would be our wish list from a zone file checker? We want a checker that can find an error before a zone record is added, before a DNS change is made. It can inform you that, okay, is this okay to add this zone record or not? Is it not okay? Like it can, you can ask it informative questions and even talk to you, right, in natural language. So what if all of this is possible? So at this point, I'm introducing CheckMate, dynamic zone file checker. The model of CheckMate is very simple. As you can see, the program has two inputs, the zone file, which is the main input, and the second is the prompt, which would be the question that you're asking. The zone file, the CheckMate program then reaches out to LLMs for information, and then it gives you the response in natural language. So CheckMate uses three main AI concepts. One is retrieval augmented generation, RAG, which means you have an input and the answers to your questions are going to be based on that input. The questions are going to be, the answers are going to use your input as the source. It's going to be grounded responses. It's not haphazard responses. It's going to be grounded in the zone file that you provide. The second is LLM, large language models. Those we are using for their foundational DNS knowledge. And the last is prompt engineering, which is basically the prompt that you will provide the program in natural language. So CheckMate integrates with distinct LLM models. In this case, just for show, for show and tell sort of thing, I'm going to use two LLMs, Notebook LLM and Anthropic Cloud. Notebook LLM is just used for to demonstrate the concept, but the actual demo is created, or the actual application is created using Anthropic Cloud, and it uses Anthropic Cloud as a LLM. So for this demo, I'm going to use two types of prompts, informational prompt and error checking prompt. So this is an example of an informational prompt, and all of these examples that I have based here are real questions that we as a DNS team have been asked by other service owners and stuff, right? So this is not anything made up. They might ask questions like, hey, can I add a specific record? Will it resolve to something that is different from the wildcard record that is there in the zone? So I asked this question to Notebook LLM, and it gave me an answer in the format in which Notebook LLM gives. I won't go into the details of it. The second error checking prompt, I have asked it that can I add an NS delegation at a certain level within the zone. Remember the application or Notebook LLM already has my zone file, so it knows my zone file. So I'm asking it, can I add an NS delegation at this particular label? Will it cause an error, right? So it tells me an answer saying yes, an NS delegation at that point label will cause an error. It will obfuscate other records and stuff like that. So this is good information. This can stop a user from making a mistake. Now we are going to see a demo which uses Anthropic Claude. Now let's start a demo of CheckMate. The CheckMate program takes two inputs, the zone file and the prompt in natural language. Let's first start with the informational prompt. As you can see from the output, I get good information about wildcard and specific records, but not a whole lot of information, right? So next we will send the same prompt asking for more details and also number of tokens consumed, since we have to keep an eye on the cost too. It takes about a few seconds. So now you can see that we got the output, we got more details such as RFC from which Claude got its own answers, right? And we also got the number of tokens, which helps us understand the cost. Next, let's try the error prompt. And these are the same prompts that we have seen in the slides earlier. We'll give it a few seconds for the output to come. So it didn't take too long. As you can see, an error is flagged with some information and it clear indication that there is an error, but not a whole lot of information. So this is sufficient to warn a standard user, but not a room full of experts. So let's ask it for some more details, right? Few seconds for it to get the response. So sorry for the scroll, but it gave me a lot of information related to the conflict detected, explanation, what needs to happen, RFCs. It gave me token usage, a whole lot of information to substantiate what response or error that it threw, right? Finally, to show that what I mean when I say natural language, I don't mean English. So here's an informational prompt in Spanish, and the response also will be in Spanish. And this is the informational prompt that we had seen earlier, translated to Spanish. So you got your answer in Spanish, the prompt was in Spanish, the response was in Spanish. And here's another one in French. So here's my demo. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching that demo. So basically my key takeaways are how we can integrate something like this if you're a software vendor, right? You can have the code within your software deployment or binary, and you can provide just very simple config parameters to your consumer, saying, hey, this is the URL for reaching your LLM. Like all of these cloud provider or LLMs, especially cloud, have API access. So you can have configurable parameters saying, this is how you provide the API, this is how you provide the API key, so that your software customers can go and use that API like Claude to make these changes. Commercial DNS providers, this can be an add-on feature for some of your consumers who are not, who don't know enough about DNS. So basically the idea for this whole thing is no more DNS-related outage, DNS change-related outage. We can prevent those. Yeah, so that's the key takeaway. Thank you. Q&A.
All right. Questions for Pallavi? Mark.
Hi, Mark van der Wal from FNIC. During the demo, I saw some of the outputs of the tool, reference RFCs in the sections. Have you checked if the references are actually correct and say what they state?
Yes, I did check the RFCs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very interesting. I'm Yuda Afek. Do you take just one zone file at a time, or can your checker take a bunch of zone files and check the relations between them?
So I use Claude to write this program, and also it's calling Claude to do those things. At this time, the program is very basic. It just takes one zone file and gives you response. But these things, so currently it's even using a smaller zone file. So I'm working on like the next steps where it can take a larger zone file, break it into pieces so that it can, because the number of input tokens has a limit. So I'm also looking at how it can take more zone files or break zone files for this. I have to at that time add something called a session management or context so that it has multiple things within its context.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't check if multiple zone files have a resolution error because loops or going into black holes or things like this. Will it detect those errors?
If there is loops type of thing, the cyclic loop
Well,
that you
not
mentioned.
within one file. The loop would go from a referral to another file, back to a first file.
Yeah, that could be an
CNAME
enhancement.
Loops, CNAME chains that can go across files.
Yeah, currently I had focused attention on a single zone file and changes that you're adding to a single zone file. But I think that's pretty doable. Mainly the main thing for Claude or something would be if you're sending it multiple zone files, then you have to update the program so that it keeps all of that in its single context or single session so that it has all of that data within its context so that it can make that connection.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, and please don't forget to state your name and affiliation.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Boswell from University of Glasgow. Thank you for the presentation. My question is, have you done any kind of evaluation of how often the response given by the LLM is correct or incorrect?
Yes, so there was a real issue that we had faced previously. I gave it that question. It did not give me a good answer. So what I did was try doing it with session, saying that I asked for more details and asked a bunch of questions within a session so that it has context of my previous questions, and then it gave me the correct answer. I can go into the detail of what was the issue we had faced and what type of question I had asked. But so this is may need multiple questions also, because it sometimes cannot, unless it has the entire context, it may not give you the correct answer. Right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
This is Onre ISC. So I think all people, and no offense to people in this room, people don't understand DNS. I'm doing DNS for more than, I think, 20 years now, and I'm still confused by DNS. Do you think that tools like this will improve that, or just make it worse because people will stop thinking about what they do in DNS? So this is kind of a meta question.
So other than, I think the room here has probably 90% of world's DNS knowledge, but actual service owners do not understand enough DNS. They tend to make mistakes. So this is kind of a safeguard to provide, because you have checkers, right? You have online checkers, you have static checkers. That is not taking away your DNS knowledge, but it's just basically something that will prevent normal users from doing errors. At least it will take a stab at it to show that, hey, something needs to be looked into more. This seems to be an issue, sort of thing.
Okay, I would just like people to understand, like the operators understand DNS more, but I think that's just an illusion.
Sorry, Peter. Okay, thank you.
But thank you.